Welcome to But Frankly Pierce News. I'm Arthur Fairview, and here's what we're facing. Last night, the New Hampshire primaries took place. Surprisingly, President Biden won the Democratic contest easily.
Surprisingly? Why?
It's not like he had any major challengers.
No, the surprise was that he won without campaigning or having his name on the ballot. The Democrats moved their first primary to South Carolina, but a grassroots campaign urged Democrats to write in his name, and a super PAC raised about $1.5 million to back that effort.
And on the other side?
Ugh, you had to ask.
The indicted, failed former president won the Republican primary, beating the last remaining Republican candidate, former UN ambassador Nikki Haley. However, our takeaway from all of this is that he's losing his mind.
Figuratively or literally, like those classified documents?
How can he lose what he never had?
Two recent events are providing a clue as to perhaps why the IFPA has, to date, not taken the stage in any debates since 2020. At a rally in New Hampshire on January 20th, he repeatedly confused Nikki Haley with the former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
On January 6th, Nikki Haley, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything, deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, so whatever they want. They turned it down. They don't want to talk about that. These are very dishonest people.
Observers have been saying for a while now that once the IFPA had to start appearing in public, his apparent cognitive decline would surprise those who haven't been paying attention. That certainly seemed to be true on Wednesday, January 17th, when he told a New Hampshire audience,
trying to debank you from your political beliefs, what they do. They want to debank you, and we're going to debank. Think of this. They want to take away your rights. They want to take away your country. The things you're doing, all electric cars, give me a break.
Debank you?
Is that like Bigley or Kovifi? Can I get a translator?
his statement looks like word salad, but we have repeatedly seen that he always blurts out whatever is uppermost in his mind, suggesting he's worried about two things. First is obviously Nikki Haley, who is challenging him for the Republican nomination. The second is the fact that because of his New York civil fraud case, large banks will no longer lend to him, and he was forced to turn to smaller banks, likely on much worse terms. Now, the legal case currently underway in Manhattan will likely make that financial problem larger.
I'm sorry. Are you suggesting that I should have some sympathy for this guy?
You've got to be joking!
No. Next, are you familiar with the nonprofit group Patriot Freedom Project?
No.
Should I be?
The group was launched in response to the arrest of a January 6 rioter known for promoting extreme racist, anti-Semitic, and pro-Nazi views.
Of course it was.
The group's leaders described January 6 defendants as political prisoners and have developed a close relationship with the FPA, who has embraced defendants charged in the attack on the U.S. Capitol, calling them hostages and promising to issue pardons to the defendants if he wins the 2024 presidential election.
No big surprise there.
Well, congressional Democrats are raising alarms about the nonprofit group, questioning whether the organization's apparent support for the IFPA's presidential campaign may violate federal tax law.
They can't do that?
Because the Patriot Freedom Project is organized as a nonprofit charitable organization under Section 501c3 of the tax code, it is absolutely prohibited by federal law from directly or indirectly taking part in partisan political campaigns or endorsing or opposing candidates.
They can't do that.
No, they can't. And yet NPR has found multiple instances in which the group expressed support for the IFPA's re-election, took part in partisan campaign events, and encouraged people to vote against political candidates.
You can't do that!
I can't believe I'm asking this, but is there any clear evidence of wrongdoing?
According to NPR, a lot. They found several speeches, events, social media posts which may have violated the ban on political campaign activity by 501c3 nonprofits. For example, the Patriot Freedom Project's homepage, which prominently features a video of Trump at a campaign rally in September 2022. Cynthia Hughes, the Patriot Freedom Project's president and founder, spoke at that rally, which held in support of Republican U.S. Senate candidate Mehmet Oz and gubernatorial candidate Doug Mastriano, both of Pennsylvania.
Didn't they both lose?
Yes, yes, they did.
At the event, Hughes identified herself specifically as the leader of the Patriot Freedom Project and encouraged people to support the group. Hughes went on to hold multiple Patriot Freedom Project events, either featuring Trump or where speakers promoted Trump's political campaign, including this one held at the IFPA's Bedminster Golf Club in August of 2023.
I want to tell you, when you go to the ballot box, don't worry about what you hear in the media. Worry about what's right for this country. And the only thing that's right for this country is this gen.
If the IRS finds that nonprofit group has violated the legal ban on intervening in political campaigns,
And I think they have.
Clearly.
the agency can revoke its tax-exempt status and impose tax penalties.
Well, that's a start.
And now we explore the world of the unlikely and bizarre with
The deuce, you say?
a federal agency is discouraging humorous and quirky messages that could distract or confuse drivers on highways and freeways across the country. The Federal Highway Agency strongly recommends against overhead electronic signs with obscure meanings, references to pop culture, or those intended to be funny.
But how are you going to get people to look up from their texting while driving if they can't use those clever signs?
The FHA recently released an updated 1,100-page manual that spells out how signs and other traffic control devices are regulated.
Curiously enough, the only way to properly read the manual is while driving.
Manual states that signs should be simple, direct, brief, legible, and clear when relaying important information like warning drivers of crashes, adverse weather conditions, and traffic delays. Seatbelt reminders and warnings about the dangers of speeding or driving impaired are also allowed.
Thank you, you've been helpful.
States around the country have used quirky messaging to draw the attention of drivers. Among them, use Yablenka in Massachusetts. Visiting in-laws, slow down, get there late, from Ohio.
Now, those are clever.
Don't drive star-spangled hammered from Pennsylvania. Hocus pocus, drive with focus from New Jersey. And hands on the wheel, not on your meal from Arizona.
Sorry, those are just plain bad.
Bad or clever, they will now be a thing of the past.
Newsflash. People who love bad puns and dads everywhere lose their chance at a dream job.
I hope you know what you're getting yourself into here, Frank.
A car?
It has been 295 days since the failed former president received the first of his 4 indictments. What happens next? Watch this space. This has been But Frankly Pierce News. Thanks for watching. I'm Arthur Fairview. Too bad you're crazy. Too bad you're loony as hell. You should be locked in a cell.
You're crazy.
Yeah.